Notes from my August/September 2024 reading of Funny Farm by Laurie Zaleski. I'm filming this today, Tuesday, 3 September 2024, which is the same day I finished reading this. I'm Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. I'm going to go through my book and reading notes for this reading of an autobiography / memoir of rescue animal caretaker and farmer Laurie Zaleski. Is it Funny Farm? My Unexpected Life with 600 Rescue Animals by Laurie Zaleski. It's a 2021. This is the 2023 St. Martin's Griffin First edition paperback. Put the ISBN in the video description. I started the book on Thursday, 29 August 2024, and finished the book on Tuesday, 3 September 2024, which is today, the day I'm filming it. It's 245 pages, including the About the Author section, and it took me 6 days, so over 40 pages per day average, but barely, but still over. Okay, this is my own copy. I got it as a present from my grandma Connie for my 32nd birthday. So I finished it. It was a good pick, Grandma Connie, if you're watching this. I enjoyed it. And is there anything else for the introduction? I don't think so. So then book notes, including construction and design. So the author is a lady who has a graphic design business, as well as this Funny Farm animal rescue, like a farm, but a different kind of farm. I do hope that these are animals from the Funny Farm. I think it'd be a little bit strange if a graphic designer chose if there's like over 600 animals on a farm. I would hope these are actual animals from the farm, but I don't actually know if that's true. I was like looking at it and I was like, you know, as someone who does like to take wildlife photography, like photograph wildlife and animals and stuff like that, I was just kind of, even without the graphic designer, and then I was like, oh, she's a graphic designer, and then I was like, well, it's a no-brainer to include one's own animals, right? Don't want to include somebody else's pristine animals at the, what about the rescues? They're beautiful. Right. Yeah. Full pages of text and moderate size font, not super tiny like Molly's Game. The chapters were thematic, I guess, and then it had and so this is like what the pages look like. It was a little bit of a slower read. There are breaks in paragraph, but they're not super all over the place. Name of the book and page number, and then name of the chapter and page number. There is a section with pictures, including a picture of the Funny Farm and the rescue animals from the Funny Farm, and then some pictures from the person's childhood and of her mom, because she really kind of attributes the existence of the Funny Farm to her mom, like it came into existence because of her mom. And thing. Okay. Anything else? I liked the design. The pictures weren't even really necessary, to be 100% honest. This is one of those ones where I was like, it's nice to have the pictures, but I was like reading it and I was like, oh, it's fine without the pictures. Reading notes. So this is a woman. She married a guy and then got divorced. So and then it sounds like no human children, but she's got 600 rescue animals. Or she more than contributes to the, you know, raising of life, so to speak, with these rescue animals. But I think she's in the 30 plus category. She started the farm in 2000, and in the book on page 201, she said had over 300 animals as of 2013, and then this was published initially 2021, and this is the 2023 edition, and that was over 600 then. So there was it's grown faster after 2013, yes, to reach that over 600 after over 300. And it's a farm where it's a bunch of rescue animals. And you're like, but how does that work? It's like a 15-acre property. And he's like, well, she said, what was it, 18 goats or something? There, and a bunch of geese and birds and like that kind of stuff. So there's like, it doesn't mean 600 horses. Right? 600 rescue animals. It's going to be very variable in size. So if that's how that works. Okay. Yes. And it fixated, I will say a general note, it fixated a lot on the mom and the personal life of the mom to the point where I think that was underdeveloped for the person writing the book. So that was a little like, okay. But yeah, so I think the purpose there was to provide this came into existence because of her mother, because her mother liked to take in animals during their childhood and that kind of stuff. So, but at the same point, it kind of underdeveloped or maybe like the way of saying it, 100 pages longer with more information about the author, and it would have been just right, or something like that. Maybe instead of a less or a readjusting, add more and make it more about the author. Okay. And then I'll go through what I flagged. Page 34, maybe I'll keep these in case something goes wrong with the filming. Her dad was kind of an infidel. Right, so not necessarily, fidelity is like staying true and loyal to one's partner. He was not known for that. He was kind of more of the stereotypical academic type, and I was like, yeah. There are, having been in a graduate program and say there's a weird academics, like as in like the professors, because her dad was a professor and made money in the stocks and stuff like that. There's a lot of analogies are drawn between like graduate students and professors in that relationship and like marriage or choosing a place. I'm like, that's not really being true to one significant other, but I quit. Anyways, but like she kind of talks about how her dad's kind of a perfect example of that kind of element of academia. Page 57, her mom would sing her dad love songs at parties just for him. Like that's different. Page 75, she expressed she wasn't interested in barnyard sex, but the baby animals were captivating. I was like, isn't that how humans have an overpopulation problem? People fixating on must have a certain outcome as opposed to just enjoying time together. Okay. Page 102, I thought this was a really good life lesson, and I think I've really come to terms with it. So I look after some of the critters of the backyard, including birds and squirrels and stuff like that. And she mentions a little bit about how people can, quote, became part of our family if only for a time, unquote. Yeah, it's hard, like especially when the animals are really cute, like they'll come in but then they'll not be around for a few months, or they'll come and they'll go and stuff, and so it's kind of like you want to be as possessive as you want, you want to be like, you're my squirrel and stuff, but they're wild animals, they come and they go. So that I think it's a lesson I've perhaps best learned through looking after the animals, which is actually, for me, my dad is the one who got me turned on to caring for the critters of the backyard. My mom helped with pets growing up. Like, I had a bunch of rodents. My sister had a dwarf rat and a bunny rabbit, and I had a dwarf rat, multiple hamsters, multiple mice. I was a rodent person, and my sister instead chose the aquarium. I also had a fish, a striped Danio, but my sister was like the aquarium person, and I was the to take after dad. Dad was an aquarium person, and I was the rodent fiend, so to speak. Okay. Page 125. Oh, she did get married, but she didn't. It lasted 7 years. She says about 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years, and they got divorced. So maybe not a soulmate. The soulmate's gotta love the animals. Okay. Moving day, page 15. Yeah, so kind of moving and restarting life to incorporate something she hadn't necessarily thought of before, because she wanted to get a house for her parents to look at, or her mom specifically, to look after animals. And then she ended up with a house because the mom, after she got the house, the mom died. And she was like, well, I'll follow through because that was the intent of this. And so now she has this property where it's kind of like, well, this wasn't meant for me. And she even says that this isn't what I had planned, but this is what happened. So what happens now? And so I was kind of like, is that the move that I'm preparing for and moving in with my soulmate and our soulmates is a change of life, right? From what I, was like academic, use science, and then go into like sports, right? That's a huge life shakeup, perhaps analogous to this situation. And moving, right? That comes with a move and that kind of stuff. Like I moved from California to Washington State and that kind of stuff. I'm back to Washington State. It wasn't new. Page 204. She has a prejudice against animals that are purebred. People that are purebred escalate. She said calls it inbred, which is clearly a bias or a prejudice, right? Designed prejudice or designed judgment against a certain entity. It's like, personally, that's kind of like my immunity to age gaps in relationships. Other people might have issues with that. I don't, right? I don't have issues with purebreds or people who are pure blood. Some people do. I do not. I'm a mix. So it's like I'm off the opposite. I'm 5+ ethnic groups. So for purebreds and breeds, I'm like, yes. And then one of those people breed with me, kind of thing. And it's like all that hard work lost. So I realize I'm like, I'm like the bane of the existence, or I'm like the why do mixes exist? But like, at the same point in time, I do appreciate pure breeds, and pure-blooded, blue-blooded, was that the term from The Great Gatsby movie jacket? I do think they have a place in the world, even though she has a little bit of a bias or prejudice there. So there we go. It was good. Conclusion, it was good. It marked full book number 38 for me for the 2024 year. I don't have to rate it because it's my book, not the library's book, but maybe a 5 out of 5. It's worth a read, and especially as a family, we had, 3 cats, 3 dogs, fish, a bunny rabbit, stuff like that. Growing up, we had a fair number of animals, and we were like the animal peoples, but not the only animal peoples, but this is like her and her siblings and her mom had like 35, so like it's like it helps with we might have had a lot for our community, but that's not necessarily a lot out of everybody. And I liked that as a like, that's that was how I kind of interpreted us, and this just confirms that. So that was kind of nice to have that confirmed. So there we go. Notes for my August/September 2024 reading of Funny Farm by Laurie Zaleski.